Good morning, everyone. Hope you are all doing good. You must have heard this statement from many places saying readers or leaders. Yeah, but when you say readers or leaders, there is no doubt about it. But how are we going to do the reading part? That's the most challenging thing for many of us. In fact, I was telling in one of my video that I used to read books regularly. One of my close friend actually commented me stating, like, I always feel jealous when you say I always keep reading books. I actually wanted to follow it, but that doesn't last for a longer period. I take it for 1 day, 2 day. After that, I go back to my normal mood. Go back to my whatever that I was doing before. I just leave that habit of reading itself. So this video is the answer for her question. In fact, this question is there for every one of them. So I am sure that some of this particular information that I'm going to give you will be helping you. So keep watching. So the first thing comes when you wanted to get into a habit of reading is please take it slow and steadily. I would never say go ahead and read the book. In fact, I will not say start with reading the book. I'll tell you how I practice this in my life. So when you wanted to read a book, you need to pre-frame your mind in reading the book. What do you mean by pre-framing? So it is like this. See, when there is a new movie that is being released, right? So what they do, are they showing the movie completely immediately the moment they wanted to launch it, or in a moment they actually released it? No, they create a hype. They actually go ahead and put some trailers. In every place where you go, they actually put the trailers of that particular movie. In fact, some people, they actually give the photo shoot videos. Some people, they actually put the trailers and the music that comes in. So it happens step by step. It happens, the pre-framing happens step by step. So what do I mean that? So you have to follow the same thing to reading book as well. It may sound funny, but please try this one. It will definitely help you. The first thing is you need to pre-frame your mind in reading any kind of book. So go to a store, buy a book that you are interested in, any subject that you feel you wanted to read it for a very long time, which you are really interested, not just for the sake of buying. So get a book, but please don't start reading it. Just look at the cover at least for 2-3 days. Just keep watching the cover, see who is the author, what is the preface that has been given, what is the author saying on the cover, just the cover, and then keep the book back to the shelf. And in the next few days, start searching about this book by googling it, or there are so many apps. Start checking with people. There are some good websites called Goodread and all that, where people actually talk about so many books that they went through. So you can actually go ahead and browse through about this particular book that you have bought. You might start getting few points, so you can actually have a look at that. And post that, maybe after a week time, you need to go ahead and just scroll through the headings, the tables, the chapter names which is listed in the book, just the chapter names, and you can start thinking about these chapters whenever you feel free. So I always used to have a book, open it, see, skim through this particular chapters just to get an idea what is that the author might be trying to say here. In fact, I am imagining of whatever that the author, in the position of the author, I am trying to imagine what is the concept in this particular book. In fact, there are several times we see a poster and we think, right, it could be the story. I know this is the trailer, this is the story. Similar way, we need to actually go ahead and try to think of what might be the content of this particular book. It may sound a long or lengthy process. You know what? Imagine, just do this for at least 10 books, and I'm sure you will become a consistent reader, because this way your mind will be thinking about this book, wanting to know at least any one particular chapter that you are really interested in. Might be you might be questioning, or you might be eager to understand some topics which you have never heard of. So what next? Do we need to start reading the books? No. you have to open and look at any topic that is more interesting to you, that you feel very much interesting. Just open that particular topic and start reading that particular topic. Skim through it, and I wouldn't say like full read, but just skim through the book, and you can actually think about it. Just munch over the content of this one for whenever you feel like. In fact, you can talk to anyone who is at your home, or you can talk to your family or friends. You can just talk with them about whatever that you have read through. So this is like listening to the songs of any new movie that is being released. And finally, then comes a part you can start reading at least 2 pages each day. Like slowly you can increase 2 pages every day. It's the best time when you have to read book is just before you sleep. When you are on bed, it's always good to avoid the gadgets. I have seen many people telling like, without my mobile I will never get sleep at all. So even my mom is like that. So you just need to even the old age people have become like this way in today's age. So I would suggest, please keep your mobiles aside. In fact, set up a time, and you can switch off your mobile phones at a particular time. Then I always do that. I put my mobiles in do not disturb mode. So after a particular time in the night, I will not receive any kind of messages. I will just listen to an alarm. Even I stopped using the alarm. So because I heard through my mentor saying it is not good for your health to suddenly wake up your body mechanism just by putting a sound. So you have to naturally go through the process of waking up. So I in fact stopped using the alarm also, so I don't need my mobile. So I keep my mobile in some place, and then I skim through the book. I read at least few pages of the book every night just before I sleep, and then I sleep. You know what, when we are doing this just before the sleep, you'll very easily be able to recollect things that you have studied on that particular book. You might feel like after reading 2 books, 3 books, you will hardly feel like remembering any of the content. But for sure, when you're doing it just before you go to sleep, your memory is very deep in that particular time. In fact, you will be able to recollect the concepts of whatever that you have read at most critical moments. Whenever you wanted it, your brain would be able to pick it up from your memory library. So it can pick it up and it can give it to you, whatever the concept that you went through. Sometimes I have felt so surprised. Sometimes I would be stammering in some meetings somewhere where I wanted to refer to some book, refer to some topics, and I will say like, okay, I will just recollect whatever that I wanted to say in before the end of this meeting. For sure, I have never missed it. There are so many times I was able to recollect whatever that I wanted to say, the chapter or the reference that I have taken from some book that I have read even years before. I have always given it to my audience. So how that happens? It happens when you do it just before you sleep. You read the book just before you sleep. So I'm sure you just go ahead and follow this particular thing. Do it very consistently, because consistency is the key wherever you are. Because you read it for 1 day, not 2 days and all that. Just be in touch with that book. Simply, at least by browsing about that particular book, just skimming about this particular, what people are talking about it, what is it exactly. You can even go to YouTube. There are so many YouTube, because I have seen people are more, some people are like auditory, some people are like visual. So you can actually pick up, if you are a person who wanted to be seeing something visually or hearing something about that, go to YouTube, start searching for that reviews about that book. In fact, there are so many audios about that particular book itself. I have one other friend of mine who is I can never even compare with her. She is a person who reads a book at least 2-3 times. You know what, how she reads? The first time she listens to the audiobook, second time she buys the Kindle version of it, and the third time she actually buys the book. You may think like sometimes it is kind of madness, but you know what, she actually applies the same thing to her business. She is doing some business, so she is able to apply all these concepts in her business as well, whatever that she is reading. See, that's how we need to learn it, and then we need to implement it, so that way we can never forget whatever the books that we have gone through in our life. All right, hope you find this useful. Please keep watching and subscribing to my channel. Thank you.